The Outdoor Show. It's the program that puts you into the peaceful and beautiful home of Mother Nature. It moves you back to that calm fishing pond up north, one step away from Lake Michigan, or into your hunting blind on a brisk fall morning. The Outdoor Show. It's a peaceful program. This is not your mother's outdoor show. This is the WHTC Outdoor Show, hosted by a guy who literally has hunting in his name. Tom Mettendorf is Dutch for Village in the Maiden, or King's Hunting Ground. Your co-host, sometimes, is Tim Becker of Powderhorn Guns and Archery. It's time for what really happens when the guys go up north on that hunting trip. It's time for the WHTC Outdoor Show, presented by My Firearms ETS. That's MI Firearms ETS on 1450 WHTC, Holland's news leader.
Good morning. How are you this morning, Tim?
Great. How about you, Tom?
I'm doing awesome. Jim, how are you?
Not too bad. How are you guys doing?
Wonderful. Absolutely awesome.
Good to see you again, Jim.
Hey, good to see you.
You bet. You bet.
We saw you last week Friday.
That was a fun show, wasn't it?
It was. Before that, though, we didn't see him all year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Them turkeys aren't out there gobbling. You just kind of hibernate then, don't you?
I start chasing deer all over the place.
There you go. There you go. Good season for you?
Oh, yeah. Not bad.
Great. Great.
He hibernates until we get this exciting weather.
Yes.
They talked about how cold it was going to be this morning. It's 40 degrees out.
Yeah.
It's not
awesome.
bad.
It's awesome. I like it. It's beautiful weather. There's no mosquitoes, but yet it's warm enough to relax.
Yep.
You don't have to shiver.
Yep.
And I'm getting excited for fishing, though.
Yeah, I bet.
There's turkey hunting coming, but fishing.
I got a little one that he can't wait to get out on the lake.
Yeah, it's so exciting, and this ice just needs to just blow away. I'll tell you what, those last 2 days of that high winds is helping us.
Oh, big time.
That's getting rid of that stuff.
Well, with all the water clearing off,
yeah,
it makes me think about walleye.
Yeah.
Makes me think about the West Michigan Walleye Club.
Absolutely.
Join the club, $30. You get your West Michigan Walleye Club membership. You get MUCC membership.
Yep.
You get in 8 tournaments throughout the year for adults.
9 with the children's
for
tournament.
adults,
Yep.
and then 1 extra for the kids.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then and that's all kids. And one of those is even those tournaments. I think was on Hardy Pond, wasn't it?
Yeah. He told us today too, because
I can't remember what date it was.
Well, yeah, I think you'll be up there.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I might be there. Staying up there by Hardy Pond at the same time.
So that's probably
I'm just
August?
excited about it. And what was it, the 4th Tuesday of the month?
Yeah, is the meeting.
Meetings?
Yep.
And that's over at West Walker Sportsman's Club. You can go over there and do the meeting at the West Michigan Walleye Club. You don't even have to be a member to come in there and observe the meeting. And, of course, they're going to sell it to you.
You know what I'd really like to see there is those ponds that what do they call that when they grow fingerlings? Rearing them? Rearing ponds?
Yeah, but is that what the pond is called? Rearing pond?
I think they're called rearing ponds.
I think so.
I could be wrong, and if so, I'm sorry, but I think that would be awesome to see that.
You could be wrong, and if so, you're sorry.
Yep.
I've never heard him say that before.
Turning over a new leaf.
Better mark it on the calendar.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Write that down.
There's so many changes going on. I don't. What'd you do with Tim?
He's hidden for a little bit. We got to see if the new guy will work good or not.
Tim Becker, the Big White Hunter.
You know it.
Becker. That's what it means.
Big White Hunter.
Yeah.
Not just of Michigan,
well,
of the world.
You're here so often.
Well, right.
You're here so often.
I know.
We got to get rid of the part-time
Yeah.
co-host.
You know what, though? Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Well, yeah,
There's
'cause
still
fall's
turkey
coming.
season and fishing and hunting. Oh, Asian carp. They start, August. I'll have to go hunt I won't be here much in the future, just so you know.
I'm going to make you do the show by yourself.
I don't want to take away your position, Tom. I mean,
no.
When I start
that won't
talking,
happen. That won't happen.
It's just people listen.
What do you think you are, E.F. Hutton?
Yeah.
You don't know the reference?
Oh.
You're too young?
Yeah.
I knew that. I knew he didn't know that.
You knew it, Chris? Oh, man.
I think that's funny.
Yeah.
You're too young to know
Appreciate
what the E.F. Hutton
calling me out on
reference
the air, you know.
When E.F. Hutton speaks, people listen.
Huh. No clue.
You didn't even know that reference. That's funny. I like that.
Do you know
I remember some of the commercials, but
you remember the commercials?
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm excited because the weather's warm, the water's opening up.
Yep.
West Michigan Walleye Club, got to get that membership there so you can get in on those tournaments. And I'm excited for that walleye fishing.
Yeah.
And
there's
all
a
the
tournament
things you can learn.
Remember, there's a tournament too. I think it's April 18.
Which one? Which tournament?
What was his name
You'll get
that was
it.
here last time? Akoff?
We'll give you some time.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know
Oh,
who
my
Akoff
gosh.
is. What-
I should steal it off the wall at the shop and brought it.
Which tournament? Al, call us. 395-1450. We need to know what the tournament was.
Al.
It's on the wall.
Oh, Al.
Oh, my
okay,
gosh.
Now I know
Al,
my
Al, you
Lawson.
caught that, Al, didn't you?
Oh, man, I'm going to hear it now that we used his name on the air again. Uh-oh.
He's going to want more royalties.
Yeah. No, we had Jim and Adam last weekend on the air. Was it Adam?
You're losing me.
No. Do you remember last week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jim Brandt.
Jim Brandt. Who else was here?
Oh, it's April
it's your
25.
buddy.
It's Jim. It's April 25. It was Scott Ochterhoff.
Scott.
It's the
And his
John
dad was
Ochterhoff
John.
Memorial
Yep.
Walleye Tournament. You definitely got to get down to Powderhorn and get signed
Yeah.
up for that walleye tournament happening on April 25th.
We're not meshing good here today, Tom. You're supposed to take up when I mess up,
I
and instead you just
completely lost me there,
fell
buddy.
asleep on
Completely.
us. Yeah.
Well, you said Acuff.
I think Adam should take
I was thinking
over right
Roy
there.
Acuff,
Yeah.
and I was thinking, why would you talk about him?
Yeah, no.
You don't get that right.
Akerhoff. Is that what it was?
It's Ochterhoff.
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 You
That's
got it now?
mean.
Achterhoff.
Perfect.
I can say Ochterhoff.
That was Scott?
That was Scott. Scott was here.
Yep.
Scott's organizing the tournament.
And the
Scott
tournament's-
is John's second son. John passed away.
Yep.
John was an avid walleye fisherman. He fished amateur for quite some time, and then he went pro for a while,
Oh, wow.
and then he got sick, and then couldn't.
So it's in
continue.
honor of his father.
It's in honor of his father.
That's awesome.
Who was an absolutely awesome guy.
Yep.
Guy taught me how to bass fish. It was so cool. First time I ever went bass fishing, he took me, showed me how to catch bass, and I
No
was all
kidding.
excited. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty cool.
You know, I've always been a anti-bass fisherman. I've never enjoyed bass fishing until I got into some really good smallmouth fishing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is that a riot?
You would have enjoyed it with John.
Oh, I bet I would have caught
Because you couldn't
stuff.
go fishing without enjoying your fishing trip
Yeah.
with John.
Yeah, it just, largemouth, I've done it my whole life, caught a bunch of them. But it was the first time I had I always thought that I could bass fish until I actually started doing it. I thought, maybe I can't. But then smallmouth, boy, do those things fight. I would almost rather catch those over any fish.
Yeah, you can't beat the action from a smallmouth.
No, not at all. Except for them salmon. Them salmon are fun out there when
Yeah,
they're wide open and just screaming. I'm
And-
so ready to listen to some screaming drags and all that.
The sheer size of them
Yeah.
is pretty daunting, too.
Yep.
Well, don't you have some exciting news about getting salmon?
I do.
Let's hear it.
We have picked up the dealerships in the Holland area for Blood Run Tackle, which would be all your
Blood Run Tackle.
Blood Run Tackle,
Okay.
which is your copper line, your wires and all that.
Uh-huh.
We'll be putting that in, I believe, next week. They're going to be coming by and filling up the store. Powderhorn's got a lot of really fun things going on. We've really started putting in fishing supplies, so we're opening up as a full running fishing store.
And you've really actually been there and working. It's
amazing.
That's the thing. What did you do with Tim, the real Tim?
Yeah, he's on vacation. He needed another vacation, so we let him go
He
on
needed
that.
another vacation, so you're the replacement.
Yeah, you got it.
So you figured out how to clone.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Now that you got those sheep, you've
not
been running
only
experiments
right,
on them.
right. Not only do I have the looks, I'm also very intelligent. I mean, there's no way around that. No laughing, Tom.
You definitely got rid of the real Tim.
No, so we got Blood Run Tackle. We're really excited about that. We have a whole lot of fishing stuff going in, and we also will be a dealer and carrying the meat rigs and paddles for the Big Weenie Company, which is just the name of the company, but they had
So
some of the
Blood Run Tackle and Big Weenie Company.
Big Weenie Company
for the
salmon.
the tackle stuff
Yep.
for catching the salmon.
And then of course Big Lake Lures we always carry. We sell a bunch of
Oh yeah,
those.
you've always had those.
Yeah, that's the name brand out of a local gentleman right here, Larry. He's a Holland guy, and boy, does his stuff work. But all your meat rigs and paddles and everything you can need, we'll have in hopefully within this week. If not this week, next week. They're going to be coming down and getting everything set up and getting some displays set up.
And you're actually open.
Mm-hmm. Oh, full time.
Meaning,
Yep.
I'm you're actually open. You're actually open more.
Yes, we're 6 days a week. Monday, right now we're 10 to 5 Monday through Friday, 8 to 3 on Saturday. As soon as the fishing picks up, which I'm starting to sell a lot of bait, so we have all live bait. Right now I'm not carrying minnows, but I got pretty much everything else you could want. The suckers are starting to catch them on the river a little bit, so we're starting to see some fishermen going there, selling quite a bit of bait for that. But as soon as the fishing really picks up, we're going to open up to either 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the morning whichever time Al decides he's going to open up. So we'll sit down and talk.
The real Tim is back.
Oh, yes. No, and we haven't decided yet if it's going to be 6:30 or 7, probably 7 a.m., and then I'll stay open until 6 or 7 at night. And that'll be Monday through Friday, and then we'll probably
That means I can come in the afternoon and sit and chit-chat and have a cup of coffee because you won't be too close too early?
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, if somebody wants to come down and see us today and talk to us, I'm sure old buddy Eli will be down there at about 8:30 with some free
donuts.
Yep.
He's always got donuts.
I'm excited.
Last week is the first time I ever saw him eat one of his own donuts
I know.
that he brought.
He brings in a whole thing of them and hangs
and then
out.
never eats them.
Yeah.
But last week he ate one. I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked. Anyway, with the weather getting warmer, did I tell you? You're going to have to mow your grass, Tim?
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately.
You're going to have to get down there to Westonbrook Mower, where they service what they sell. All units are ready to use when they leave the store in Westonbrook. Submit your warranty information so you don't have to. Stop into the Holland or the Genesis store. Check them out on your computer at westonbrookmower.com or call them at 616-396-5733. Lines are open. Give us a call, 395-1450. We'll be back here shortly on The Outdoor Show. Welcome back to the Outdoor Show, brought to you by Lakeshore Tackle and Firearms, your full-service gun dealer, stocking new and used firearms, Glock, Sig Sauer, Ruger, and more. Lakeshore Tackle and Firearms are buyers of all kinds of firearms and located at 6398 Blue Star Highway. That's just 6 short miles south of Holland at exit 41. Find them on your computer at lakeshoretackleandfirearms.com. We're back, ready to talk with you. Give us a call, 395-1450, just like Ron did. Ron's on the line. How are you this morning, Ron?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Just a little bit of allergies going around, I guess, with snow melting. So, got to deal with those things when you wake up.
Allergies when the snow melts.
Yeah, mold and stuff like that from all the leaves and stuff that's been under the snow. And now it's all popped up now because everything's cleared out and wind's blowing stuff around. So
I gotcha. I'm sorry, Ron. I've never experienced allergies. I'm not even allergic to poison ivy. So
well, give it another 5 years. You'll get a little
another 5 years. I will.
Everything kicks in.
I feel sorry for my sons when they were young. They'd get into poison ivy with me. They'd get poison ivy, all the little bubbles and stuff from it, and I wouldn't get anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyhow, what's up?
The boys from my program had poison ivy last year. We were helping a senior citizen in our area do some lawn work, and we were pulling weeds, and this young man got into pulling, and I was like, hey, wait a minute, this looks familiar.
Oh, no.
He already had a big pile of it along a fence line, and oh, my Lord, this poor kid had it on his face and his arms. And
that's a bummer.
For almost a week, he was in pretty bad shape.
That's a bummer. Watch out for that poison ivy, folks. What's up, Ron?
Yeah.
What do we got?
Oh, go ahead, Tim.
No, what do we got this morning?
Oh, hey, I was going to yell, fish on, fish on.
Well, why didn't you?
You were yakking about allergies, but but you were talking about walleye. I wanted to let you know, steelhead. There's quite a few groups around called the Steelheaders. I was a proud member of the Grand Rapids chapter, and I those guys were some of the best people I've met. Being part of a family-oriented program, but right now at the DeVos place, there's the Ultimate Sports Show.
Yeah.
It used to be called the Fishing and Outdoor Show, but it's going on this weekend over at DeVos place in Grand Rapids, and I started probably 16, 17 years ago. I took a small group of kids from my local church there, and I met these gentlemen from the Grand Rapids chapter of Steelheaders. They had a program called Pathways of Fishing.
Okay.
They taught the basics of fishing, from putting a hook on a line with a split shot and a night crawler, and how to watch your bobber and things like that. And I was hooked myself as a parent. And
that happens when you take kids fishing. You're bound to get hooked.
Oh, yeah. and that comes true, too.
Well,
yeah.
the Steelheaders are awesome, Ron. I don't argue that one bit. The Steelheaders, the Big Red Classic happens this summer, and I think the Steelheaders put that on. And they also, what they do is they benefit the Boys and Girls Club here in Holland for that, and I know you like that.
Oh, yeah, yep. And with my program, I do outreach and train to teach the basics of fishing to kids and parents, because there's a lot of parents that don't know how to fish properly or any good.
That's true.
And, there's a great group here in Holland. The Steelheaders also has a chapter here, and I hopefully want to meet up with them this year and maybe work something out. But this Ultimate Sports Show that's at DeVos this weekend, if you can get down there with the kids and or just walk around and take the wife, there's some nice people out there to meet. But you see some of the latest tackle and the outfitters and things like that. They have a fishing pond out there for the kids. And the Steelheaders of Grand Rapids chapter do a fish cleaning station out there where they demonstrate how to clean a fish.
That's excellent. I got to tell you, though, we run out of time in this segment. We got to go to a break.
Sure.
And, people, get out there, check it out. Ron's got a really great suggestion there. Thanks for the call this morning, Ron. Appreciate it. Awesome. Farmers Co-op Elevator in Hudsonville is your food plot headquarters with over 40 different seed varieties to choose from, providing in-house soil testing as well as fertilizers, lime, and equipment to plant, maintain, and get maximum performance out of your food plot. Visit the Farmers Co-op at 3302 Prospect Street in Hudsonville. For a complete list of products and services, check them out online at fcelevator.com. Lines are open. Give us a call, 395-1450. We'll be back here shortly on The Outdoor Show. Welcome back to the Outdoor Show, brought to you by Powder Horn Guns and Archery. For all your arrow knocking, gun cocking, fish hooking, flag waving, stand up and sing God Bless America hunting and fishing needs. Lines are open. Give us a call, 395-1450. We're back ready to answer your questions right here on the Outdoor Show. I took over for you.
I know.
Because you quit. You watched him. You were watching him.
I just know when he cuts it off.
He put his hand up there and you stopped whistling.
Yeah. I know all of his tricks, and I still got to learn how to whistle.
You'll get it, Tim.
You got it. I'm hoping.
As soon as you grow up.
Yeah, I'd say so. Well, I say we talk a little turkey.
Well, you know what? I was thinking back in the last segment when I came in with the Farmers Co-op,
yep.
And the food plots. Now it's time to start thinking about food plots, too.
Yep.
And
Great
food plots are very beneficial for bringing your turkeys in, too. Right, Jim?
Yeah, your turkeys love anything that when it starts to green up, the turkeys will be in there. They'll be looking for bugs, looking for the green sprouts, all that stuff. Right. Yep.
I always notice later in the year when you get those long shoots of grass along the road, in the MDOT mix is the seed they use along the road there. And that's where all the grasshoppers hang out.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's where you get the grasshoppers for fish and bass and everything. Did I just say that?
Yeah.
You walk along the highway. You got to have that orange vest on. Don't forget the orange vest.
See, I thought you'd go to Lakeshore or Powderhorn to get your fishing needs, but...
Well, do you have crickets?
You can always get them.
You have grasshoppers?
Sure.
See, the way you get those, you walk along the road
yeah,
and
you
pick
can
them
at
up.
least go to Aaron's store and go walk around and pick them up in his yard, but that's fine.
That's true. He's got lots of them in the yard there because
yeah.
of the grass, the way it grows up in that dry area.
I'm just giving you a hard time back to turkey.
But it's I see them going after all the grasshoppers and stuff, and I always think, if I had a piece of property that sufficed for the springtime stuff they're looking for, where they're rooting in the ground and they're getting things, and then it harbored those things that the turkeys are looking for, they'd be back there all the time. So if I designed a piece of property that had the right kind of food plot set up, I'd be able to have turkeys just keep coming to me. I don't have to go hunt them out.
The hardest thing with turkeys is they do have a large home range.
Right.
And what they will do is they will move long distances to food.
Right. Oh. So Tim's going to buy me like 6,000 acres up north.
Yep.
So the turkeys are going to do, they're going to be all over there.
That's the best way.
He likes to drive the tractor.
Yeah. Do I ever? Yeah. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you ever use food plots for turkey?
No.
No?
Most of the ones we do are for deer.
Yep.
But a lot of the ones that you grow for deer will work great for turkeys also.
Okay. See, and I was wondering I plant lots of food plots for deer, but I'm thinking the turkeys, a lot of mine are, just a yearly crop, so by wintertime they're eaten up pretty good. And I'm wondering, when do you plant for turkey? Do you plant in the fall for spring growth?
I've never really planted.
I haven't either. I know a lot of people do.
Yeah.
I'm just,
we got to get Terry back
Terry
on and talk about that, because
that'd be good to know.
If you could make a food plot that would attract deer and attract turkeys on a regular basis, you'd be able to get them on those cycles where they're roaming, right?
I know there are some brands that are specifically designed just for turkeys.
Yeah.
Okay.
You bet. Now, is there truth? Oh, I'm sorry, Tom.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Is there truth behind?
I know you're sorry.
Oh man. Is there truth behind what I've always felt, that spring grounds are definitely different than fall? That these turkeys will move out of areas. They go to areas for strutting and breeding, and then they'll head to other areas.
Yeah. During the springtime, they like to have good strut areas,
open
2 tracks.
Yeah, 2 tracks.
Open fields. They love your springtime fields.
Yeah.
Your cut corn fields. Your spots where the farmers have already put in your buckwheat, that kind of stuff. They love those kind, especially as they start to sprout up. And like you said, they start to attract bugs.
Yep.
And then the turkeys will be all over it.
Now, I'm just kind of curious, and I always thought about this. If I were to set up a nice, because we years ago we had a piece of property, we set up some nice runs and everything else, and planted, and then put sugar beets in the fall and all that stuff for deer.
Yep.
Well, to set up a good habitat that turkeys would be attracted to as well. The turkeys like to dust themselves.
Yes, they do.
As we get out of the moist spring to the more dry time.
Yep.
And they like to do that. Would it be beneficial to put let's call it a sandbox?
Yeah.
Yes.
A sandy area.
That makes sense. Yeah, I never thought about that.
Well, I think about that because we got Jim here to talk about scouting, and we're talking about food plots.
Yeah.
But I think about that, and I always recall in these early times looking for turkey, to look for, if we get that nice, like the wind you talked about pushing the ice off the shore and so on, that it dries out that top ground. We'd always look for those sandy spots for where they're going to dust themselves, and they take and they drag their wings along there and so on.
You'll also find in those semi areas, look for your wing drag marks, because the toms are going to know that the hens are heading there to dust, so they're going to be hanging out there because the hens are there, so they'll be strutting.
Well, now even as a turkey hunter,
and when they strut, the tips of their wings go down.
And drag
along there, and that's the coolest track to look at. You got the wingtip drag, and you got the spur digging in, and you're going, oh, that's a nice spur.
So this is something, and I am a turkey hunter, and this is something that I didn't know. A lot of you can see where they're dusting themselves.
Oh yeah.
Majority of the time, that's hens.
Yes.
Oh, no kidding. Do toms dust themselves?
Toms do dust too, but during this time of the year, they're so kind of preoccupied with the girls.
I understand.
They're kind of one-track minded.
Yeah. They're like teenage boys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just like bucks in the rut.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yep. See, and I never lose their mind and just one track. There you go.
See, and I never close to teenage. There,
everybody didn't get to see that.
We should have the podcast on again.
Yeah, the little camera pointing at Chris. Flexing over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way those toms get. They get one track minded, but again, anything where your hens are going to be, your toms are going to follow.
Yeah, no kidding. No, that's great. And one of the things that I always found for scouting is if there's a power line on the property that I'm hunting,
which has the 2-track, which has the bare dirt, which has the long grass.
That seems to be the ticket.
You're anywhere where you have a 2-track, small fields in big woods areas. The turkeys congregate there.
Allegan State Game Area has really awesome spots for that. The problem that comes in is that's public land. You have to apply for a season on that because otherwise you're stuck with 234 is private land only down here.
Oh, I thought that was... Oh, that's private land only, huh?
Down south.
Okay.
You get
this is our south part here.
Yeah, Zone 3.
You get into the Zone 2
and 1,
and it's open to public.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's good to know. I don't sell licenses at the store, so I don't.
If you go up north with the 234, there's some great area where the elk are in the PRC, Pigeon River Country State Forest.
Boy, wouldn't that just be fun to go turkey hunt that?
Oh my
those
goodness
elk?
Gracious!
Oh yeah.
The turkeys and the elk are in the same fields at the same time.
Yeah.
It's so awesome to watch.
That is cool.
Thing is, you don't really want to be shooting a turkey
Blazing away,
and not
yeah.
watching what's behind them.
Yeah.
That could end a hunting
Well, the worst
season.
part is the elk are much bigger.
Yeah.
So you're watching the elk and forget that the turkeys are
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Elton, you're what?
But if you're in the tail end of the PRC between Gaylord and Atlanta, and then you go, it's like halfway, and then you just go north just a little bit. You get in there where the Black River area is, and so on like that. There's a lot of land that's a lot like, very similar to the Allegan State Game Area with
Yep.
the patches and the small fields and so on.
Again, you mentioned the rivers. That's a great thing to scout, too. As you get along those rivers, that's where your birds are going to want to roost at night.
Yeah.
So they like roosting over water.
They love to roost over water. For some reason, they feel safe.
Well, isn't that typically, and this is just my observation, typically you've got a bank and you've got tall trees on the top, and
Yep.
those trees go up. Those are nice trees. They get a chance to spread out roosting branches. So you get your roosting branches, which are more horizontal for them. But then also because that lower side down there's only one way to watch.
Yeah.
Because it goes
Yeah,
down low to the
they
water.
never look down the water. They're always facing away from the water.
Yeah, and if there's danger, they don't fly onto the side, the land side. They fly across the creek.
Yep.
And,
It puts
get
that
away from
space
danger.
away from.
That makes
yeah,
sense.
it
It's
gives
just
a
a natural-
separation.
Yeah. I never
So-
thought about that.
Yeah, and if you look for those areas, correct me if I'm wrong, Jim. You look for those areas. Those are the areas you're going to figure out where their roosting trees are, right?
Yep. And then you also know which way they're going to pitch.
Yeah, so you know which side to set up on.
Exactly. In the morning, scouting is your best way to kill a bird. You know, everybody wants to hear about calling, but scouting will kill more birds than any kind of calling you can do.
Well, let's talk about this then.
Okay.
Scouting. How do you do it? How far away do you need to stay from them so you don't kick them off roost or scare them?
This time of the year, you can get right in there, walk around, see where they're at. Good time to find roost trees. You'll be able to find the scat below the trees.
That's what I always look for: scat underneath the tree,
Yep.
and feathers.
Yep.
Feathers are more noticeable, but then you see a feather, start looking for that scat, and then you look for the type of scat that we're looking
The
for
size
the
of it.
turkey.
Yep.
Now, same trees over and over and over?
They
same
will,
area?
and they will stay in that same area, and they can stay in the same area. It depends on the food source. Again, that comes into our food plots. If they have a good food source, they'll stay there for months at a time.
Okay.
If it's scattering, like when the bugs come in, they will move. They have that huge home range, which is so hard to scout turkeys. So you constantly have to be watching for where they're moving.
Now, they may not be in that same roost tree every night, but they're going to be close to that proximity throughout the spring season, correct?
Yep.
I mean, they got the wide range, but we're going to be close to that proximity.
No, they will have several different roost areas in that range.
As in that proximity, though, right? I mean, an area you could walk to.
Yeah, usually.
You don't have to get in the truck and drive to find their next roost tree.
Sometimes you can. It depends on the birds, and it depends on their feed.
Okay.
And it depends on what field they end up in at night, right?
Yep.
Because I don't think they got a schedule. I think they just kind of wander.
No, they're wanderers.
My turkeys I've got scheduled. I just said, you guys be here on this day, okay?
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing your turkeys are scheduled, because you're never are.
Never. Where are you today? I somehow ended up in Canada again today. I don't know how.
That's not a bad problem to have, though.
No. Until you ask my wife. Then it's a bad problem to have.
I won't do
Oh,
that.
come on. She loves you, and you've got it made.
Oh, I agree. You got a
You
great
better,
wife.
You better agree. She takes care of you, and she lets you play a lot.
Yeah, you bet.
The Outdoor Show is brought to you by Advantage Marine in Zeeland, with competitive prices and personalized service to meet all your needs. Repair, storage, winterizing, parts, and more. Call Advantage Marine in Zeeland at 616-748-9235 or stop in and see Dave at 8755 Riley Street in Zeeland. That's at the corner of 88th and Riley on the northeast side of Zeeland. Lines are open. Give us a call, 395-1450. We'll be back here shortly on The Outdoor Show. Welcome back to the Outdoor Show, brought to you by MOA Gunsmithing, exclusive dealer for Leatherwood, Hilux Optics, and 300 below cryogenics freezing, as well as firearms repair, specializing in Mauser rifle custom work and restoration. MOA Gunsmithing is your accuracy headquarters. For target and varmint shooting, visit KnowYourZero.com. For rifle builds, accuracy test, and product reviews, call 616-502-3374. MOA Gunsmithing. Right on. dead on, all the time.
That's awesome. And,
Yeah,
Bob, I know you're
You do it. Do it. Say right on.
Whoop.
Say right on, dead on, all the time. Do it.
Right on, dead on, all the time.
You see, it's just different when I do it.
You're
Tim.
right. It's awesome when
I
I
like
do
to
it.
hear myself do it because it's more awesome when I do
We know
it.
you like to hear yourself. We know that.
Well, why would I be on the radio if I wasn't?
Right, right. I mean,
Because I'm right on, dead on, all the time. That's why we're partners with MOA.
you know it. And Bob,
Oh, yeah.
I know Bob's listening. I got guns at the shop for you, buddy. Stop on by and get them.
Oh, I thought you got more? Or that was from last week?
Never saw him.
Uh-oh.
I think he was working late.
I think you're supposed to bring him to Bob.
I am.
That's what I thought. I'm thinking, okay, calling
That's why
Bob
he's
out
giving
on the
him-
radio.
That's why he's giving him the shot now.
No, I got more guns this week for him, so I'll deliver them down there.
Oh, golly.
Yeah,
Well, they aren't anybody's turkey guns, are they?
No.
Oh, okay. Whew. Gotta get this stuff.
Well, let's say I hope not, because they're rifles.
That would be bad. That
Unless
would
they're
be
going,
bad.
unless they're going to Texas.
Yeah,
then-
you know it. You know it.
We better get them down to Bob.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know how to get there?
Oh, yeah.
Or do I have to drive you there?
I'm right on, dead on, all the time.
He's working on it.
I'm getting there. I'm going to practice all week, and I'm going to come back
Right on. Dead on. All the time.
too loud. The lower voice, let's face it, I don't have let's go back to turkey hunting. We're getting too far off track here. But, no, I think, so, scouting now,
Yeah.
it's a fun time.
Great time.
Get you into the woods.
Yep. Confide shed antlers, same time.
Oh, yeah, because the sheds are all out right now and the snow's
Yep.
melted.
Yeah.
And your phone's quacking.
Whoops. Did not put that on the...
Well, I'm just thinking about it as Tim's saying, scouting right now.
One of my friends just texted me, right on, dead on, all the time. Thanks, Mitch.
But the scouting, so many people think you have to go out and call when you scout.
No,
And-
this time of the year I wouldn't even call.
Yeah, that's probably not a good idea, is it?
No, because what it does is it teaches your birds,
Educates them.
educates them.
Yeah.
Yep, you can't teach a bird any better than to go out and start locating with locator calls right now. By the time you hit the season, your birds will not call or will not respond to your
So you
locator
can
calls.
burn a bird out
Oh yeah,
and educate them
Easy.
too much.
Oh yeah.
Well, and when I first started turkey hunting, it was actually my little brother that was taking me around and giving me the ropes.
That was back in the horse and buggy days.
Well, it took us a while to get from spot to spot, because we didn't have those automobiles, we didn't have cutting and running.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's taking me around. And he's saying if you use a call, because we'd go to a spot and he'd say, okay, this is one way to do it. And then he said, if you use a call, don't overdo it. You know the birds are there on this day. They might be there again tomorrow. They might be there again next week. You know that's a spot that you want to work with. So
Yep.
we'll come back here mid-morning after they've come off the roost, and we'll look for the roosting trees so we know what area they're in. Then we can go back when it's turkey hunt season to get our to get set up at the right distance,
Yep.
knowing where they're coming to the food source and stuff.
Great thing to do, especially down south here where you're hunting a lot of fields.
You realize we're in Michigan, right?
Yeah.
You did say down south.
Yeah, well, down in southern Michigan, it's a lot of agricultural. Where you head north, I do a lot of hunting up north.
Right,
where it's
right.
a lot of woods, big woods.
Big
Yep.
woods, yeah.
And
Love the big woods.
it's total different scouting. Up
Yep.
there, you get into state land, you got to walk around, you got to find those spots where the birds are.
Right.
Down here, you can do a lot of glassing. You can just glass a whole tree line, and there's the birds. You can sit in your truck, nice and warm, drinking coffee, and scouting.
Donuts.
Donuts and
Donuts.
coffee. You can't get any better. It's nice and easy that way.
Does Eli take donuts when he goes duck hunting?
No, but we're going to have to discuss this.
You get the donuts.
Yeah.
Donuts and coffee.
Yep.
And then use your binoculars and find them up in the trees.
Yep, and then you can watch them pitch down, see what direction they're going to go, what fields they're going to hit, and feed in.
Okay.
You know,
And
and for new hunters, that's a good way of putting it, too, because to get into the sport, to be able to do that, you and a buddy can go sit in your truck, glass them, laugh, have a good time, eat donuts,
Yep.
drink coffee for sure,
And
and just have a good time.
yeah, have a good time.
Yep.
You don't have to be hardcore
Right.
Yeah,
while being hardcore.
exactly. It's a nice low impact scouting.
Low
technique.
impact, like that.
I love it. It's
My knees are getting old.
us older, fatter guys. It's that putting all the walking on the.
Hey,
on
that
the
includes
trim.
all of us except Chris.
No, I'm pretty young and trim still.
I'm going to go with the
Now
young
we're really
part.
going to laugh. Stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you start scouting up north, good thing to do is actually just drive along a lot of your back roads, your seasonal roads.
Uh-huh.
You know, and it's kind of
Are
fun.
you talking dirt road?
Yeah, dirt
Yeah.
road. You get in your
When
seasonal
you're
dirt
talking
road.
seasonal roads, be careful at this point in the year because there's a lot of. It may look like a puddle,
But it's
Yeah.
but
fun.
it's
I was just
saturated.
going to mention you better have your 4-wheel drive.
But it's
and
fun.
another truck.
And that's what I was going to roll into is that you can kind of take your buddies with you and it's a 2-way trip. It's scouting for turkeys and it's a little bit of mudding.
Yep. It's scouting for turkeys and bringing you back to 16.
Yeah. So you
Yep.
can have all kinds of fun. Your truck is muddy when you get back, and you know where the turkeys are.
There is nothing
true.
like a water puddle
truck
or a
is not
mud
muddy.
hole to bring you back to your youth.
Your
Oh,
truck
yeah.
is not muddy; it's camouflaged.
Right?
Perfectly camouflaged.
Right.
So when you get up there in the big woods, though, and you're running down those 2 tracks or on those seasonal roads or down the gravel roads, what are we looking for?
In that kind of a situation, you're looking for your little openings. You can do your glassing, too, early in the morning. Because a lot of them, you'll have, like, your little openings. You'll have a little opening up next to your 2-track. And you can glass those spots. And then you can...
Without getting right underneath them.
Yep, without being too close to them. And then also, you start looking for crossing tracks, sand bowls, because you'll see sand along the 2 tracks.
And then get out and go look.
Yep.
It just doesn't mean stay in the seat in the truck all the time.
No.
We're using the truck to cover ground.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay.
And as you go year after year to the same areas, you'll learn where you need to get out of the truck and go look and say, okay, they're still roosting in this area, and then you'll be able to go, okay, they're roosting here. You find it then from where they're roosting, you'll find a spot where there's a lot of oaks where they'll be feeding and that kind of stuff.
And you'll see those sand spots.
Yep.
You see where they're dusting, and you go, ooh, that's a strutting track.
You got it.
Yeah.
Look at that spur.
Well, let me ask a quick question. I'm sorry, I want to jump in there, though, but a lot of people come to the store and say, which game call do I use? Which name brand
Rod
and whatnot?
Benson.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to have
Rod
you
Benson.
talk about Rod Benson a little bit. They got awesome calls.
Yeah, we have locator calls, we have box calls,
You have
slate
a call
calls.
I can shake and make every Tom come running to me?
That we do not.
Well, you better work on that.
But actually,
What does it matter, Tim? They can't get out of the fence anyway.
True. Don't give away my secrets.
we actually have our box call called the Pulse Rate. If you take what actually works the best tension-wise is a woman's hairband that they put their ponytail in. You put that around the box call, and you shake that box call. That paddle will gobble.
No kidding.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's and for most box calls, you can actually make it do that.
That
Perfect.
actually kind of
But-
surprises me that you would say, no kidding, you didn't know that, Tim?
No,
See,
it's-
I look to you for all the information about hunting,
you know,
and there's things you don't know.
turkey hunting I do real well with. I bring a lot of people out
Yep.
around here, especially
It
with
gets the
some
fence
of the
up faster.
yeah. Especially around here with a lot of the local areas here, it can be very fun, very easy hunting. And all the call I use is mouth calls.
Yeah.
Yep, just a diaphragm call is what I use.
Okay.
So I will never say I'm an experienced, awesome turkey hunter. I'm not. I'll leave that to you.
Yeah.
I enjoy being out there because it's outdoors. You get to see a lot of birds, especially in the area. The big woods has been a couple of years since I've hunted them.
It's a lot of fun. We have a mix of big woods and we have some agricultural private property that we hunt up there, and it's a big mix. We guide a lot of turkey hunters just because we like to, we enjoy it.
Yeah.
just
Well,
like
yeah.
you do.
Oh, I
Because-
love bringing people.
Well, before we take off here, because we're about out of time, what's your feeling, Jim, on having a full kit, a vest full of different calls, good or bad?
You
That's all we
have
got
to.
time for.
Have to about
You gotta
35
have it.
calls.
Okay, so head on down to Tim and pick up those calls. We'll talk to you next week right here on the Outdoor Show.